taking out one cannon, losing some of his own Hydras in the way, but still doing a fairly good job there. I think you might actually want to morph a couple of lurkers and take out those cannons, then instantly move down with some lurkers, because if those cannons are out of the way, it's going to be nothing to spot those lurkers, and they're going to be able to kill everything. High Templar now out for Stork, so those are definitely going to help against those Hydralisks as soon as he lets them get up the energy for it. Meanwhile, more cannons being put down there by Stork, just trying to have those 3 cannons make sure that Kwanro doesn't push down. And Kwanro is actually using this chance to expand the 12 o'clock position. That's very smart. He's going to have 3 bases, and as soon as he gets full mining going, he should be in pretty good position. Stork, however, especially with those High Templars, soon enough will have enough energy for storms, will be able to break down. Meanwhile, now Mutalisk's ready. His Spire Up is up, and his Anskelig with a Mutalisk coming down for Kwanro, as well as taking down the 12 o'clock base, so he's going to get an immense economic situation here. Stork is actually now going to move up his ramp with that Templar and Zealots leading. He also has High Templar to block things off, and now speed for those Zealots ready, so he's going to completely force Kwanro back out. Meanwhile, just macroing up. He definitely has to take out that expansion. And he's also putting down, apparently, cannons inside his base. Storm going off that completely misses the Hydras, though. Kwanro doing a pretty good job of backing off and just taking off spots. Also splits up. Some Storm going off. This time hits quite a few Hydras. Kwanro doing a good job there of splitting up. And Stork now finally ready to set up his expansion, putting down a pylon there. Mutalisk now on the way, which Stork's actually spots. So Stork can instantly pop down cannon inside of his main. We're going to see whether those Mutalisk are in time. They're going to start off by attacking this Archon. And the Archon, meanwhile, is going to morph in. No, Kwanro, you should actually be going for the main before the cannons build up there. And meanwhile, Stork could be actually counterattacking here. He also has Archons morphing, so those are definitely going to help him against those. And he has several Zealots and the Templar moving into the main and natural of Kwanro. So Kwanro has to counter that. He doesn't have a lot of troops on the ground. Cannons being planted down everywhere, so his Mutalisk is not being too effective. Now the first person view of Kwanro, he's trying to react here, doing a good job of foiling that attack, though. There has been some damage done, but he's killing some forces there, and I think he's cleaned up everything but those 2 Zealots and 1 Dark Templar that could be running around. All in all, good counterattack here by Stork. He's still doing a lot of damage, being irritating with those Zealots. Still has the Dark Templar there, and he's going to go around killing more drones. 2 more drones. The Templar has 4 kills before he gets killed off. And those Mutalisk, meanwhile, running it for Kwanro. There are lots of cannons that he has to fly over, and he's instantly just getting hit by so many cannons. Takes so much damage. That was a bad flyby there by Kwanro. He's just going to fly by, lose a bunch of Mutalisks, and not going to accomplish anything with that. 4 Mutalisks, which were, I think, 6 or 7 before that. So Kwanro has, meanwhile, established another base, and Stork, meanwhile, attempting to establish another base, has that Archon there, and is in serious trouble with mining in his main, so definitely needs that natural to start mining for him soon. He has a decent amount of forces there, though. Stork doing fairly well off this 1-gate build, despite Kwanro having an early advantage. Again, flying around with those Mutalisks, just trying to be irritating. But there are cannons everywhere for Stork, so he has to be very careful. The Mutalisks shouldn't be able to do too much, possibly thinking of picking off. Meanwhile, Stork now, again, moving out with more Zealots. One of them gets picked off. There is that Sunken Colony as well as Hydras ready for him there. More High Templar, meanwhile, being produced by Stork, and also adding more cannons everywhere at his Natu. He wants to protect and make sure that his Nexus doesn't get harassed. Meanwhile, some Zealots going to be caught by Mutalisks there. They're going to get very badly harassed. All of them get taken down, but Mutalisk is not going to do much else. It feels kind of like what you would do against a Terran opponent, just catch a bunch of troops on the ground and just take them out. Meanwhile, now Kwanro again thinking of a break, moving out with Hydras, taking out some cannons. Storm going off on a bunch of those Hydras. 2 beautiful storms by Stork there. Wow, catching a lot of Hydras. Mutalisk trying to move in, trying to pick off some Zealots, picking off the cannons, but Archon is now morphing. Also, High Templar in that position. They've used up their Storms. Rovo, Hydras moving as well. The Mutalisk taking out all the cannons. All the cannons have been taken out, but there's the Archon there now, and still plenty of Zealots on the ground. So with an Archon there, the Mutalisk are not going to be able to focus on those Zealots. Meanwhile, now even more force is going to be produced by Kwanro from that 12 o'clock expansion. Kwanro actually hasn't equalized the economic position. If this keeps going on and Stork manages to establish this base, he's going to be in serious trouble. He's not trying to catch some probes that have just been moved in, but Archon doing a pretty decent amount of damage. Mutalisk flying around, took off one cannon. Storm going off that completely misses the Mutalisk, though. Lots of force there on the ground for Stork. I think Kwanro's done the mistake of letting Stork reestablish himself. Stork did a very beautiful counterattack there, and Kwanro should have, at one point, should have been getting a stronger economy if he had gotten that third base earlier instead of going for the hyper-aggressive play. He would have had such a huge economic advantage on Stork now and would have been able to just completely macro up. Of course, you got to react a bit differently because Stork went off a one-base build and he couldn't really expand. But if he had used the chance to expand, he wouldn't be able to do a lot of damage. Meanwhile, now one Zealot for Stork going to go inside of this base of Kwanro's. But Kwanro has Hydra's rallied to a different location, but they're not going to bother chasing that Zealot army. Meanwhile, Stork, meanwhile, has only very Zealot-heavy ground force. He has an Archon there as well as some High Templar. Meanwhile, Kwanro adding more hatcheries. Those forces on the ground are going to be met by Mutas, but Mutas are not going to engage due to those High Templar. But is going to be able to pick off one of these High Templar. High Templar does get off a Storm, and the Mutas does pick off a High Templar, although those Mutas did take quite a bit of damage. Going to again fly around and force Storks up with some of his forces back. Mutas doing a pretty decent decent damage overall, picking off some High Templar, picking off some random force. That's what you need to do. Kwanro again moving out with Hydralisk, might be thinking of a break. I think he should have gone for some Hydra Lurker. I think Lurkers really help him alongside, at least having a few Lurkers, so that way you can split, because there's nothing to spot but those cannons for Stork. And if you just take out the cannons moving with some Lurkers, as soon as that happens, you'll be able to do a lot of damage. Although Stork, of course, has Storms, and he has some Archons which do splash damage, we can, of course, catch the Lurkers. Stork now moving again with the Zealot into the 12 o'clock base of Kwanro's here. Kwanro forced to move some of his drones away to prevent the Zealot from taking them out, and the Hydralisks are now going to engage the Zealots and finally take it out. Although Stork being just a good job of being irritating with that one Zealot, just going to run around like a freaking marathon runner. No, I'm not going to torture you guys. So large Zealot army for Stork, who has his main almost completely mined out, very little mining there. So he's still just mining off one base, really, but it's still doing a pretty good job, because honestly Kwanro hasn't really established the 12 o'clock position, and he has been harassed as well, so I'm not really sure how many drones he's produced. He has produced some drones at some of those bases. He also has a very large Hydralisk force everywhere. We're going to see how he manages this. I think Kwanro's he had a very large early advantage, now adding more hatcheries and not really mining a lot of gas, although he has established all of his 3 bases. Kwanro, despite having that early advantage, has a belief really not advantage anymore. Stork now has Dragoons everywhere, so those Mutalisk are definitely going to become a wee bit worthless. And I think Kwanro has allowed Stork to establish a large force and establish his natural, and if he had never allowed Stork to do so, because what he was doing for the first few minutes, for several minutes, he didn't allow Stork to reestablish. He just forced Stork on one base, and he should have been able to starve him in, especially if he had taken one of his own expansions. He would have been able to produce so much, and he would have been able to completely starve Stork, and that would have won him the game. But I think now that Stork has established his natural, he's going to be able to get more going. He has another gateway popping up, and he has such a large ground force. One overlord, they're going to get caught by those forces. Stork with such a large army, I'm not really seeing how Kwanro would need to do some huge attack. He's going to attack some High Templar with those Hydralisks. Will manage to pick off no High Templar. Oof, lost 3 Hydralisks there. Almost managed to pick off High Templar, but not quite. There could be an engagement. Hydralisk moving down the ramp. A wonderful storm. Another wonderful storm. Wow, look at those storms from Stork. Kwanro running another storm, catching quite a few Hydralisks, and just Kwanro doing a very good job holding the upper ground. But now Stork is going to move out. There's a Hydralisk there as well, which is easily going to get taken down. Those there's Mutas there, but Hydralisk now running backwards, being completely reduced to nothing, just trying to retreat into what I hope for Kwanro's case is a large sunken line. And no, it's not just one single sunken. Kwanro, where are your sunkens? Where are your lurkers? Oh my god, he needed lurkers. If he would have lurkers right now, he would be in such good position to defend this off, but Kwanro with no lurkers whatsoever at his natural end. Oh my god, I think Stork is actually going to take this game. Kwanro, oh, look at Stork. He's smiling. He's so happy. He knew he had it won. Oh, GG. Wow. Oh man, that was wow. Look at the smile on Stork's face there. He still can hardly keep it there. He was like, I won this. Oh, thank Christ. So Group H, the last group, is actually going to move on to a final third set. Kwanro looking a little bit disappointed, run away, and Stork is going to take a sip of his drink here. Ooh, I'm not quite sure how Stork got back from that, but he did. Jesus. If Kwanro, he would have... Why did Kwanro not go for lurkers? If he had lurkers, he would have been able to kill Stork, and he would have been able to completely defend that 4 or 5 lurkers. Maybe even more. Oh well. GG by Stork and Kwanro. Wrenching out.